Hello and welcome to another episode of Nerds Amalgamated. I'm your host, Professor, and my co-hosts are DJ and Devi Boy. How are you guys going?
I'm doing good. It's been a fun week. I finally decided to go back to uni. Yay!
Woo!
Is your degree one of the ones that's going to be on site?
Unfortunately, no. Unfortunately, no.
Should have done some manual arts.
Yeah, I need a DeLorean with a flux capacitor right now.
So what are you going to do?
Health management.
Nice.
So basically HR person in the hospital saying, hey, all you nurses, you're gonna get a pay cut.
Right, so you're the one who's doing it.
All right, guys, you know where he is. Just he's on 45th Avenue View of Sissy Street. Just.
And how are you, DJ? Sorry, Devi Boy.
Hey.
Whoa, we're just starting and I'm already messed up.
Oh my! Hey, it's very fun. It's winter. We're all cold. Our brains aren't functioning. You know.
Well,
have you got a coffee?
I function better in the cold.
Oh well, then you're just falling apart, mate. I'm sorry, nothing can help you.
I'm getting old. The dementia's kicked in.
Well, maybe you should get DJ to help you out a little.
I'll be your personal carer.
No, I'm pretty good. I'm holidays, so I'm having a fun time with VR and wasting time inside virtual worlds.
Is it fun? Is it expensive to getting a VR?
I mean, I've got an Oculus Quest, which I mean that you can use without a computer. So that's about $600, I think.
Ugh,
that's the current price they're going for. They're actually reduced a lot from $800 to $900 they were during the pandemic.
And that's the cheaper one. So
that's the cheaper one, yeah.
Yeah.
So obviously, resolution of the actual screen and stuff like that. It's not as good as the high ones, but I don't really care. I can't really tell. But I am linking it up to my computer, which is I mean, it's 3 years old now, but it's still got I've got a iCore 7 and a gigabyte drive. I think it's a 720. No, hang on. I'm not a PC spec person, so it's a gigabyte. 1070. That's it. 1070. So it can run pretty good a lot of games, just at sort of medium quality. It can do max, but you'll see flames coming out the back of his fans, so, you know.
Yeah, try to avoid that.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice toasting marshmallows behind it. It's a really good way to just double, you know, you need some food, but no, it's a good, so yeah, if you want to play half like Alex, you're going to be looking at a reasonable amount of money to get things up and running. But I mean, I'll recommend getting the if you're looking for a VR headset, get the Oculus Quest because you don't need a PC to play at any time. You can set up anywhere.
Yeah, and Steam compatible, if I recall, right?
Yeah, that's what I've been doing. So I've been running it through. It's like 40 chests that you run. So you've got your Quest, right? And Oculus Quest has its own home inside the headset itself, right? Through that, you plug it into the Oculus app, which is what all your Oculus devices use on the computer, right? Inside the Oculus app, there's also another home screen where you got another home, another base, right? Then you run through that, you run Steam VR. Now, Steam VR also has its own home base and UI system. Through that, you then run your game. If one of those levels decides to not have fun, you have a fun time trying to fix it.
So
yeah, that sounds enjoyable.
Yeah, because at the same time, Windows is trying to fight them all. Because Windows is being Windows, it thinks they're all viruses, tries to shut everything down. So, it works. I haven't had too many issues yet, but I have heard some people have some worse rigs than mine have had some fun. But I think everyone has a roll of dice, I guess.
So if one goes down, it's a cascading effect, basically.
Pretty much, yeah.
Anyway, we should move on with our first topic, which is about the upcoming Nerds Amalgamated fishing trip to Pluto.
What? Oh.
So it turns out Pluto could have an underground liquid ocean, which is absolutely insane considering how far it is from the sun.
So there'll be mutant fish there.
The reason for that would be that the gravitational pull from its moons and nearby planets stretches the crust, which generates heat and keeps the ocean warm.
So does that mean we're going to officially call Pluto a planet?
No.
Nuts.
So it's not a rock sack as everyone originally thought it was.
Yeah, everyone's always thought it's just rock and ice, but seems like it could actually have enough internal heat to have a liquid ocean.
That's interesting. So it'll be like mutant fish there?
I hope so.
So I see how it'll be. Now today the world's dead still mutant fish from Pluto
Yeah, so anyway, I reckon we should go there for a fishing trip. Ice fishing, never done it before, but can't be that hard.
Just get some ice poles, maybe a flamethrower. We'll break through. It's all good. Don't worry about it. I mean, if you get some more fuel, it's only a few light years away. I mean, is it a few wouldn't be light years, would it?
No, astronomical units.
Astronomical units,
Yeah.
So, a few astronomical units back to Earth. Maybe it'll take a few 100 years, most likely. Yeah, it's fine, guys.
So that's interesting. Like we always assume that Mars and the Moon have liquids in the planets, and so now Pluto is having liquids in the planet. That's an interesting. So is that going to be an assumption that all planets have liquids in the end, though, or are they going to do it the old-fashioned way and just bring a rocket into Mercury and Jupiter and?
Well, they came up with this idea partly through simulation, and they simulated two options: whether Pluto started off as a conglomeration of ice and rock that just happened to be out there, or whether it started hot and froze later. And they reckon that it must have had a hot start, just because if it was started cold, they would have seen compression and fractures, and the surface would be more broken and dynamic than it is because of the expansion of the liquid freezing into ice. So I don't think most planets will have liquid oceans, but the interesting thing will be to see if the other little planets, like what sort of dwarf planets around there do, because there's half a dozen dwarf planets in the vicinity of Pluto.
You were going to say something there, Davey boy?
Yeah, so it'll be a very tough environment, even because Earth itself, we have a very hot center. The majority of our heat for why we got liquid water comes from the sun, but Pluto is so far out that it's going to be freezing cold, negative 100 on the outside, right? And then inside it's going to be burning hot if there's going to be liquid water. So it's either the water layer will be scoped from frozen solid ice to boiling. So
it only has to be above zero for it to be liquid.
Yeah, I'm talking if there was plant life or something in there, right? It's got be a very hostile environment for it to be able to survive. Considering just how there's no atmosphere on the outside.
Yeah, there's according to this article, I was saying, as it turns out, there is a way to tell whether Pluto formed hot or cold by simply observing the dwarf planet's surface. It relates to the straightforward that water expands as it freezes and compresses.
Come on, DJ. That's what I just said a minute ago. Are you?
Oh, yeah.
Is the dementia's contagious?
I know.
What are you doing to us?
Debbie boy,
what have you done? Right, I'm out of here, guys. Bye.
So it's basically, it's all icy, and the insides vibrate less and form a crystalline structure that leaves ice less dense.
Yeah, so that's why the ice comes to the surface in water.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, they reckon that the reason why life on a subsurface ocean is better protected than life on a surface, because you can't get hit by asteroids, flares and supernovas can't get to you, cosmic radiation is reduced.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. With the amount of radiation that's been that will be coming out in the next few years. I wonder how dwarf planets would react to it.
Yeah, you're talking about the solar maximum?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not for a few years, I think. I think we're in a solar minimum at the moment. But, they've survived this long. The solar cycle is about 11 years, so they've survived this long, and I don't think it would make a big difference.
So it's going to be 20, 50 years down the future, we're going to finally get some humans over. They're all space probe to Pluto, right? And it's going to be us. We drill a hole, we jump down, and we just see this alien world just staring at us.
Oh, I bloody hope so.
Just stare at us. It's just mate, you cut a hole through the ice layer, you idiot.
I hope so. I want to see space fish.
Space fish.
No, space penguins. Space penguins.
So they got 3 eyes and glowing tail or something?
Yeah, well, the space penguins would rule over Pluto. And they would have the Interplanetary Space Penguin Alliance.
So there'll be a king space penguin?
Yep.
All right, so we'll be the invaders coming in, and it's take us to your king. We come over, this is just penguin. Just there, just looks at us. And eats us.
And this penguin's name will be named Gunter.
Gunter. All right, scientists of the future, you've heard it here first. If you see a penguin on Pluto, name him Gunter.
But
But
imagine the fish and chips. Potatoes from Mars, fish from Pluto.
Fizzy drinks from Saturn. No, Jupiter. We carbonate your fancy water this time of Jupiter atmosphere. Taste it now. Die later.
And then where does Mercury fit in?
Well, that's the place you send people they want to die. It's just Mercury.
And Venus?
Venus? I mean, once more, you're getting pretty hot there, mate. You want to, I don't know. Actually, no, I got it. Right, so many years in the future, when we've just got that many people on Earth and Mars and stuff, we're running out of space to put ovens, right? So instead, we have interplanetary alliance of companies that send your food to Venus to get it cooked. And then they ship it back.
This is some Heston stuff here.
Today on Heston Food, we test the Venus oven theory.
It'll be like sponsored by Uber Eats.
He's like, he comes to taste it, and it's just like, yeah, pretty crispy and radioactive on the bottom, a bit cold and icy on the top, but in the center, it's all right.
Actually, Tom Scott did send garlic bread to space.
True, he did do that, didn't he? And they found it was quite icy on the way down.
Yeah, because it didn't actually warm up enough on the way back to Earth.
That's right. Yeah, it's a YouTube video about that.
Yeah.
Just in general, if you like science, watch Tom Scott or just anything. It's an amazing YouTube channel.
But just curious though, would you say that alien life would that ultimately answer the question there is alien life though?
If they found it on Pluto?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it would so many extra questions there. Did we both get seeded from the same event? You know, did life come from another planet and end up on Earth and Pluto? Did it evolve independently? So much to find out.
I mean, I guess the real question will be if they have space lasers or not. If they've got space lasers, then we've got an issue. If they don't have space lasers,
we invade and take them out before they do.
I mean, it's human nature. It's going to happen, unfortunately.
So what are you excited for this week, Devi?
Oh, boy. Man. So I am a video game fan, a retro video game fan, and announced this week was a new Metal Slug games. In fact, 2 new Metal Slug games. One is a mobile game funded by Tencent. It's only going to release in Chinese markets as of right now.
Yeah, so you can tell it's already going to be pretty rubbish.
I mean, it looks good. And there's another one for it's in-house development by SNK. So you don't know who SNK is. They're the developers of Metal Slug and King of Fighters. They're like an underdog back in the 90s, right? Now, they have had a turnaround lately since actually same year. So was it 2015? Konami left for the pachinko industry, wasn't it? I think around there. And that same year, SNK was like, yep, no, we've had enough of the pachinko. We're going back to game development since the 90s. So they've been starting to bring out new games, which is great. So we're going to get a new Metal Slug console game. Then we're getting the spin-off one by Tencent. This is the only one we've got a trailer of for this week. We've only got a little paragraph saying that we've got one coming inside SNK. So what is this new Tencent Metal Slug game? Well, it is a fully Chinese game, but it is in a lineage of games they've already made. They've only like 3 other ones. This is the first one using 3D graphics, and it's a recreation of all original Dead Metal Slug, technically 8, Metal Slug games. So 1 all the way through to Double X. And it's all the games remade in 3D. And they've added some new weapons and stuff as well, like Ice Gun and a few other things. It looks pretty cool. Graphically, it's all right. I mean, I'm one of the people who's really into pixel art, and the whole reason Metal Slug is it's pixel art, because it is breathtaking. Like, it was made in the mid-90s, but it still holds up today. So having it all 3D graphics, I mean, it looks more modern, but it sort of loses that charm, I feel. But, I mean, just in general, having any new Metal Slug is great, because we haven't had any years.
Oh, I used to love playing Metal Slug X. That was a fun game.
Yeah, man. Like, okay, Metal Slug X is a funny story, because Metal Slug X is a remake of Metal Slug 2, which came out the year previous. Metal Slug 2 shipped with some very crippling frame rate issues. Like, an explosion goes off, the frame rate drops to like 10 to 3. It just, it's just sort of chugging, bam, and it goes back. So Metal Slug X was basically all the poor arcade owners basically shipped us out the year after saying, sorry, we kind of fucked up there. Here is the fixed version of Metal Slug, which doesn't have crippling frame rate issues. This one, and Metal Slug X still throws some more enemies and stuff to have some fun. I'm a big Metal Slug fan, if you couldn't tell.
They're fun. They are fun.
Yes, I hope this one holds up and keeps the hook of the gameplay. Like, graphically, it probably won't make a big difference, but if they get the gameplay wrong, you'll feel that right away.
Yeah, I mean, gameplay wise, it looks really similar. I mean, it's Metal Slug. It's not too difficult to get right, but it's on a certain level you got to try and get. Like the jump, like I'm not expecting to be like perfect. Like the jump, floatiness, and fall and stuff be the same. But like as long as you can shoot stuff and blow stuff up, it should feel good. But I mean, it has only been designed for mobiles, so I don't know. I'm feeling half and half. It's. I mean, I want to get my hands on it and try it out. It's really only real way to tell these sort of things. Hey.
Yeah, but I'm just skeptical about the mobile game though. With the mobile game, because we all know mobile games are cash grabs at this point. Like,
I mean, inside the trail they showed a hub world, so
Oh dear.
oh no!
Run and don't look back.
But yeah, a mobile game. I mean, really, did they really go to that low point?
I mean, Metal Slug's already had like 5 mobile games. You had Metal Slug Defense, the tower defense game made in 2014 or something. Then you had Metal Slug Attack, which is the 20th anniversary game, which was just Metal Slug Defense again, now with some more weapons at higher transaction value. And then you had these 3 10-cent games already previously made for the Chinese markets, which were just flash sort of like games. I never really played them because I downloaded one of them and it instantly asked me for my credit card details, so I said no.
and there it is.
So if this falls through, are you aware of any alternative games that you can play?
This one, the Metal Slug?
Yeah.
I mean, there is the incoming development one, SNK itself. So, I mean, there'll always be that one to play, hopefully. Because the SNK themselves should do a good job, considering it's their property. And they've been doing really well with King of Fighters lately, so I'm pretty confident of that.
Which platform are they doing the mobile game version, if you don't mind me asking? Is it just iPhone, or...?
I mean, it'll be Android as well, I'm guessing, because they haven't really announced it too much, I don't believe. Like, it's all in Chinese as well, so it makes it a bit difficult. But mainly, just mobile in general, so I'm guessing Apple and Android stuff.
You reckon SNK will go after the Tencent, though, in terms of copyright infringement and stuff?
Oh, no, because they're working together on this project, so there's no copyright infringement. Yeah, they're both working together. SNK put out an announcement back in 2015 that any company that wanted to borrow or use the IPs can apply for them. So that's probably where this is coming through. So basically, any SNK. So like, if you can set up a company today and you can pay some money to them, you can use their IPs and get resources from them. So that's how a lot of these other projects outside of their main development studios have been funded.
All right, let's make a Nerds Amalgamated Metal Slug game. We'll pitch in and we'll give it to SNK and go, here, we would like to use your assets.
And what would we do? Blowing up just memes or something?
Yeah, I wonder what their licensing fee would be as well.
I mean, I haven't looked, even no one really knows because all of them disclosure agreements. So,
yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't say it'll be overly expensive considering it's not like Capcom or something. But at the same time, they are still well-known properties in Pacific circles, right? So it wouldn't be like dry bone dollars, like $50 or something. It'll be a lot more than that.
I would say like maybe 10K that might be the closest thing I can think of.
5K to 10K, I think somewhere in the 1,000 range. I say definitely, yeah.
I mean, SNK. It's good to see SNK coming back after all this time.
Oh yeah, like it's basically the story of their company went mid 90s. They helped influence the fighting game genre. They were the first company to come hot off the heels of Street Fighter 2, like Fatal Fury and Street Fighter 2 are the ones beating it out in mid-90s, and they Metal Slug and a few other games along the way. But come the early 2000s, arcades were, kind of dead. And they never influenced, they never got the ability, they never tried to get the ability to jump the consoles. They never bothered. They just kept making arcade games until, the money ran out.
Mm-hmm.
Then they bought out by a pachinko parlor company. So they used all their IPs and moved over to making pachinko games. But then come 2015, new regulation laws in Japan basically were like, so more red tape, and you have to remake all your arcade machines your pachinko machines to align with these new rules. Now basically like, yeah, nah, we're out, and then move back to game development.
That's right. They were bought by Aruzi.
Yeah, Aruzi
Corporation. That's right, and then which is now known as Universal Entertainment. Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember it's funny because Aruzi made some games for the platform. Well, it's actually funny, it makes sense. Because they made a pachinko game for the game, not Game Boy Color, the Neo Geo Pocket Color.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah, they made a game for that, and then they bought SNK out. So I mean, it's a topsy-turvy story. But at least they're back and they're trying their best, and I think they're doing a good job so far.
Curiously though, with this new Metal Slug game that's coming out though, could you see this as the rise of the emulator? I mean, SNK are famous for the emulators.
In what way?
Like with the Metal Slug games and the King of Fighters.
They're already doing it. Every single console generation that comes out, they port everything. Every single game they have that is worthwhile, they port. Like, you look on Switch, every game's on there. Look on, it's closed down. Look on the Virtual Console, it's there. Look on Xbox, PS4, it's all there. Every Metal Slug there just slaps in the emulator, put it up. People buy it. A lot of people buy it. So, I mean, they've worked out how to make one little ROM create thousands of dollars automatically by just slapping it on every single new generation. I will bet you $1 million that they will release it on PS5 and Xbox Series X the second they come out.
Oh, that'll be interesting if that happened.
Yeah, how often can you buy a new copy of Metal Slug?
Literally every single console. Oh, you mean like the Neo Geo cartridge?
Oh no, I mean, is it like when they release it on a new e-store, is it the same people who already own it who are buying it? Or do they get a different bunch into people like skip a generation?
Who knows? I'm guessing some who already own it and some that are new. I remember they got a lot of sales out when it was on the Switch because they released them like in the first day the Switch was available to people. So there was no games back then. People were like, well, you want to play a game? Oh, look, there's 20,000 SNK games here. Might as well buy one of those.
I would love to see with the new Metal Slug that's coming out, they put some Easter eggs to say like, hey, here's some nostalgia for you to remember us.
Oh, they will. Don't you worry. Because the whole point of Metal Slug series is reusing models. Well, actually, it depends if they go. I bet it'll be. I have a feeling it'll be 3D. Pixel art is dead in the amount of detail they want outside of indie games. And I don't, considering King of Fighters moved away to 3D, I don't think it's going to be pixel art, the new one. I think it'll be 3D models. Now, I reckon with 3D models, you can still make it look amazing and help bring that cartoony charm if you have talented animators. So it'll be, I honestly have no idea. Time will tell.
But the problem with like when you try and transition from the pixel art to 3D animation is the amount of effort doubles and also the cost also doubles, wouldn't it?
No.
No?
Doing the pixel art of the same kind of high quality they have triples by doing pixel art of what you want these days. Because, okay, so in 2010, they released King of Fighters 7, I think it was. I can't remember exactly the correct name. There's so many King of Fighters. It had pixel art. It was a 2010 game with pixel art. Every single character model, like every character in the game, took 3 months to draw.
Oh!
There are, 15 something characters. I can't remember exactly. I know the number's wrong, but there was a good chunk of characters, like 3 to 4 months per character.
Yeah,
so
it's actually easier to do passable 3D art than it is to do pixel art, because with pixel art you have to animate every frame. With 3D art you can at least take advantage of rigging your model.
Yeah,
but wouldn't it also depend on what engine you're using though, like your Unity engine or your Maya? Or
not really. As long as if the engine has 3D support, can make 3D, like Unity, Unreal, whatever it is, they will be able to make 3D games in it. Like, it does not really, it just depends on the art style. It doesn't really matter on the engine. If you're going to pixel art, then it's going to take more time. If you're doing pixel art of a high quality, which you need for AAA games, it's going to take longer than a 3D model will. Because a 3D model, you draw it once, rig it, and then you use it 1,000,000 times. Pixel art, you can draw one frame, and you use one frame for that one frame.
Okay.
So, the last few weeks I've been talking about some video game archaeology, finding old games that have been missing for years and tracking them down. This week, I have the opposite, using games to preserve historical knowledge. So some anthropologists and a Brazilian tribe, the Huni Kuin tribe, are from the Amazon and have worked with these anthropologists to produce a video game based around their myths and legends. So the Huni Kuin tribe, also known as Kaxinawa, which is the sort of the Western name for them. Huni Kuin is their own name. And the game's out on a bunch of different platforms, free to play, so you can download it from the link in the show notes there, and just check it out. It's an interesting little platformer.
So how old was this game when...
It's just come out. So they've got a full article about it, but they started in 2012 and met with the Huni Kuin leaders, and they actually had ayahuasca, which is a psychedelic, I think, drug, and actually, got to know the people and spoke to them about the project. They traveled out to the tribes, got the people from the village to actually do the art for them, and you can play the game in their native language.
Nice.
Oh wow, that's cool. I mean, I've been hearing a lot of projects similar to this all around the place lately. So like, how long did it take to develop? Do you know at all?
It says the project started in 2012, but it doesn't. I don't know if they've been in development that long, or if that was just when they started the project.
I mean, if it started, then that counts as development technically, because gaining things. That's a long time for just a free game. Good on them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so the art's all hand drawn by the tribe, and they also address sort of where their traditional way of life comes into their modern way of life. So at the start of the game, you actually play in present time, and you travel to what they call the Plane of Stories, which, now I think about it, is fairly standard hero's journey stuff. Can't even get away from John Campbell in the middle of the bloody Amazon.
No, Hero's Journey just follows you everywhere.
Yeah, so Hero's Journey, the basic outline of it is that a hero starts without the skills that they need, gets a call to adventure, and often goes to another universe or another place, has their adventure with a bunch of other stuff, then comes home with their new skills.
I'm just looking at it at the moment, and it just reminds me of Mario for some reason.
Well, it's a side-scrolling platformer, so Mario wasn't the first one of them, but it's sort of the biggest one.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool. I like this concept, how they're preserving a culture and stuff, and teaching the next generation of how their ancestors survived through the medium of entertainment. And
the cool part is, though, that the copyright of the project belongs to a collective formed by the indigenous people. This actually it reminds me of Virtual Songlines, which is a project I don't know if that actually came out. But I met this guy at a symposium once, and he was working on a project called Virtual Songlines, which would be about Aboriginals and their tribes. And
yeah, I've heard about that one as well. Like I've heard a few. Like there's one that's trying to recreate Aboriginal tribes, Dreamtime and stuff, which I think is really good. Like they place them inside cities as well. Then I know there's another one focusing on what is it? What do you call it? Indigenous people of America, Indians, focusing on them and their culture. Like there's a lot of these projects going around. I think it's a great idea, considering games as a educational medium.
Absolutely, and they actually took the chance to help the Huni Kuin tribe by building solar systems in their village. So 9 villages now have solar systems that they built while they were out learning how to translate this story.
What's going to be interesting about this is if they're going to expand this project, it's going to be what narratives are they going to use in this game as well, and what type of messages are they going to talk about in this game? Like, will they talk about like the dangers of colonization, the dangers of dangers of evolution in the tribe, that kind of deal?
Well, the Huni Kuin, according to this article, are pretty into technology. Like, they still want to have their sort of traditional way of life, but they want to have the technology integrated with that. So they actually wanted the solar panels.
Nice.
I mean, it's a really respectful way to go about it, considering, like, I'm not saying all a part of any culture, but I mean, the world's moving forward, and unfortunately, that means adapting to it is the hardest part. So the fact that they want to try and integrate, actually integrate and try and like keep their culture but blended in a way, that sounds like they're really giving themselves a good shot.
Yeah, and plus now their life stories is in the internet, and we've all know that one rule in the internet: the internet never forgets.
Never forgets. Yeah, I mean, especially it's on. It's already got lots and lots of attention, which is great, considering which means there are going to be tons of downloads, a ton of different copies. Pardon me. So if like a server goes down, it'll still be out there. Someone re-upload it.
Yeah, I hope they've registered their site on archive.org as well.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm seeing that one of the articles here. They're saying that during field experiences, we have quickly noticed that the Huni Kuni's fascination with technology. Many times we heard the following expression: "We, the Huni Kuni, own the science. You, the Nawa," which is their version. Their way of saying white people own the technology. From a broader perspective, the alliances that are built between these two people, as in the case of projects and journeys, relate to shamanism, open the way to exchanges of knowledge and tools, but between the science of the forest, which is medicines, and the instruments of the white people, which is technologies. Right?
Yeah, so it's like Devi said, it's a really respectful way to go about preserving their culture and their knowledge.
Yeah.
And I really recommend actually downloading it and playing it because it's a pretty cool game. It's simple. The graphics are, all hand drawn. They're not it's not some AAA game, but it's still actually pretty good.
Yeah. Is it on Steam?
No, it's, as far as I'm aware, only available from their website.
I honestly think that's a good idea. Keep away from Steam, please. It's
or Epic.
I mean, Epic's games are probably all right. Just Steam's I don't know how they improved it much lately, but Steam can be quite toxic. So
yeah,
given that, I don't know. Maybe we should give it a try. Maybe not.
Yeah, I hope this also. I'd love to see this team get more funding and be able to do this again.
I think that'd be a good idea, especially with a bit more of a backing. I reckon, if they had developed this as a small project, think about what stories they could bring with the help of a full-fledged 3D artist team, right?
Oh yeah, can you imagine they might even tell they might even have their own game of playing as Fables and which under the narrative of Fables and Legends.
Yeah, I was just thinking Hellblade. I think that was what the name of the game was. You're playing as the girl with the not amnesia, but mental problems. Yes.
Hellblade Senuna's Sacrifice.
Yeah, probably that. Yeah, not particularly that, 'cause that's in itself just fantasy, but use that a game like that, right? But you can tell these stories through. That'll be amazing.
Yeah. So DJ, what have you got for us tonight?
So I have. So last week we spoke about Cyberpunk 2077, the comic book series that's coming out. There recently. I think recently, as in 2 days after that announcement, an anime is coming out.
Hey, mate. There's 3D girls and there's 2D girls. I will die on this hill.
Okay, Professor, you're on.
So you have chosen death.
Yes. I will stand proud of my body pillows in fighting in arms.
I can imagine Demi Boy just smothering the professor with a waifu pillow. He's going, embrace death.
Get back, extrovert. Get back.
The question is, though, in movies they use the pillow as a silencer for the gun.
Yeah.
Would he use his waifu as a silencer to shoot me? I mean, I'll be killing the waifu in the process of hurting you. Not that I would want to. This is a fantasy idea. Don't get any ideas. But let's clarify that now. But I mean, if I was to do it to someone who I actually hated a lot, and I had to sacrifice a waifu, I wouldn't do it.
They'd be like, nah, not worth it.
Not worth it, mate. Look, potty pillows are really expensive. I won't go into here to get you up so I don't make you go off track, but it's not worth it. Not worth it at all.
So anyway, so the title of this anime series is called Cyberpunk Edgerunner. So it's going to be a 10-episode anime series being developed with the help of Japanese-based Studio Trigger.
Wow.
This is
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. So this is the studio that's famous for anime series such as Little Witch Academia, Promar, Darling the Franxx, BNA, Brand New Animal. And so Edgerunners is set in the world of the video game, but centers on a street kid. And the announcement it reveals that having everything to lose, he chooses to stay alive by becoming an Edgerunner, a mercenary outlaw known as a cyberpunk.
Wow. I mean, if it's Studio Trigger, I am all for it. Like, they know how to animate shows.
Yeah.
Like, they did Little Witch... words. They did Little Witch...
Little Witch Academia.
Yes. Little Witch Academia.
Yep.
Little Witch Academia and Kill la Kill, and they know how to animate fights and stuff. Like, I was thinking before, okay, so anime series, it's great, but like if it's one of the small studios, but it's Trigger. They're the spiritual, well, actually, technically the child of Gainax who made Evangelion. Like, these guys know what they're doing. So wow.
To expand on the story, so you'll be a mercenary outlaws. If that sounds you like the start of every Shadowrun game, you're not alone. A lot of people are anticipating on this stylized, futuristic dystopian anime, and it will be leaving a lot. It will leave a lot of Easter eggs, I reckon, and background which is nodding to the game that's coming out.
Now the question is this coming out before or after the game?
I think it's. From what I'm gathering, it's coming out before I think it's after the series. After the game, I mean. Yeah. Yeah,
that makes sense. That'll be understandable.
Yeah. It's coming out in 2022.
Currently, it's after.
Yeah. That would be after, yeah.
Yeah. So it's
actually, who knows? It could get Cyberpunk could be delayed by another 2 years. You never know.
Can you imagine when it comes to December? Oh, here we go again. Another delay.
Well, I'd hope they announce that before then, because isn't it supposed to come out in November?
It's but come on. when it comes to November, they'll be like, "Oh, we delayed it again. Do another month." Another month.
I don't think they will. They've done it too many times now. They know people are getting antsy, so they'll make sure it'll be out by the end of the year.
Hopefully. So, Sire Elder, the Japanese-based producer of this anime, tells that Night City will serve as the stage here too. The characters and storyline here are entirely new, so that those unfamiliar with the game will enjoy the anime too. So, and she also states that I like to think that it's going to be a great gateway for newcomers to come and check Cyberpunk game and also the Cyberpunk genre.
Yeah, actually, I wonder what William Gibson thinks of this.
I want to know what Ridley Scott's going to think of it, considering he made Blade Runner, and that's one of the biggest influences of pretty much all Cyberpunk.
Yeah, between William Gibson's Neuromancer and Blade Runner, that's all Cyberpunk.
Neuromancer gave a lot more of the narrative parts of Blade Runner genre than Blade Runner genre. What was I saying? Cyberpunk genre. Blade Runner is what created the visual style.
Just curiously, guys, with the Blade Runner, did you guys ever like the new one?
Yeah, I loved it.
I haven't seen it, so please don't spoil it, because I keep meaning to see it, but I don't.
It's 3 or something hours long, so yeah, you need some time to sit down and watch it. But if you love the original, you'll love the new one. If you didn't like the original, you will hate it.
Now, is that whether I like the original theatrical cut or director's cut? Or
Jesus Christ.
Whichever of the other 5 cuts there are?
Just go off the final cut. The final cut. That's the best cut, in my personal book. Unless you want angry Harrison Ford narration.
And we want for some reason they alternate, like every other release seems to decide that he's a synth or a human, and you'd think they would just...
What's the word for it?
Replicant.
Replicant, that's it.
Yeah.
It's funny because everyone else who made the movie apart from Ridley was like, he's human. Ridley's like, he's a replicant. So obviously you've got this battle going on between him and Ford, and it's just like, he's a human. No, he's a replicant. No, he's a human. No, he's a replicant. It's just you could see both of them getting angry at each other during like interviews and stuff.
Yeah.
So so going on with this topic, Masahiko Otsuka, CEO of Studio Trigger, saying this is Trigger's 10th year anniversary, so we have prepared the ultimate team of Imaishi and Yoshinari as director and character design to bring an outstanding result.
They're really going all in with this, aren't they? Wow.
Oh yeah.
They're not pulling any punches. They're pulling all the punches.
Yeah. So for those wondering who is Imaishi, he's the director of Kill la Kill. And Akira Yamaoka, he will direct the show score, and he is famous for Silent Hill, the games.
Just clarify that, please. Not the movies.
So, one of the game director Adam Batsky saying is, we are so excited to finally reveal that we're working on an anime in the cyberpunk world. We've devoured just about all the cyberpunk fiction there is to watch, read, and play. It's a genre that leaves so much.
Depressingly little.
It's a genre that leaves so much room for creativity and had such a strong influence on us. Cyberpunk Edgerunners is our love letter to cyberpunk as a whole and to stories told in an animated form. I think he's not wrong there. I mean, like the cyberpunk as a genre, even though it's been told very little, it's a very inspiring genre to look into. Like what the future holds in terms of.
I mean, I'd say it's inspiring because by definition, cyberpunk is pretty shitty.
Yeah, that's the thing I've got, because I have a love-hate relationship with the cyberpunk genre currently, because the point of cyberpunk is not to go, wow, it's meant to go, oh crud, I don't want this to happen. So, like, us moving towards cyberpunk genre in real life is kind of the opposite of what we should be doing, because the entire point of the genre is to basically say, big medical operations are bad. You know, global warming is bad. This, that, but you know what I mean? Dystopia. So a lot of people have made cyberpunk. It's fine. It's like it's a genre in itself. This is what it's all about, creative medium. But like the whole purpose of the genre was born from the 80s, like corporate dystopia, and being like, you know, things, money and everything taking over, poor, rich and stuff. But whenever you have flashing lights of visuals now, it's like, wow, cyberpunk, woo, cool. But yeah, it's the opposite of what it's meant to be making you feel. I think in respect to 2077, the whole point of the show movie, I mean, there's so many new 2077 stuff coming out. The whole point of that game is like they're going the full cyberpunk route, where it's like, yeah, this is not a place I would personally like to live. Meanwhile, you got some other media with cyberpunk where it's like cyberpunk, it's like a label slapped on top where it's like, hey, it's cyberpunk, guys, look, flashing neon lights, woo, isn't this cool? So that's my little gripe with the genre, because I love the genre, but it's like you gotta get the blend right.
My interesting thing with this is it's coming out on Netflix, and it's very interesting. I see the Project Red is having this unique relationship with Netflix.
Oh, yeah, because The Witcher, yeah.
Yeah, The Witcher was interesting. It was good. It's a good series, but I hated the whole timelines thing. That was like,
yeah, that was my only gripe with the show, because it was very confusing, because I had to do a little Google search just to make sure I was on the correct episode, because
Castlevania was really fun.
Castlevania is amazing. I haven't seen Castlevania. Go watch it. It is, there is no other video game adaptation that comes close to the levels of Castlevania. Yeah. Just... Trevor, stop drinking, please.
Yeah. The question I'm going to be interested in is what type of narratives are they going to use in this for this game? Though, are they going to talk about like crime in Cyberpunk is very high and he's trying to survive through the life of crime, or are they going to do the whole government conspiracy angle, or what angles are they going to use in the story?
I don't know. Considering it's CD Projekt Red and being pretty, they're going to want to try and experiment with some new ideas. That's what they were about, right? So I think it's going to fall into some kind of trope, because every story plot points it has been used. You can't make new stories with plot points. I mean, genres. What's the word? You can't. There's a saying where every single story that's ever been told is already been told. Like, it's going to fall in some category, but I reckon it's going to be one of the more obscure ones. But I mean, who really knows until it's out?
Yeah, I know that. Damn it, why can't I remember? I know that law that you're talking about, about every story being told, but. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, what have you been playing, Devi Boy?
Me? Well, I was playing VR chat, but then I managed to get, as I already explained, my Quest linked up to my computer, and I just went crazy downloading free VR games from Steam. So, Half-Life Alyx, Steam VR Boat Simulator, a few little tech demos and stuff, and then having fun fixing bugs inside all the programs.
Not the bugs.
Yeah,
the bugs. They're fun.
Run away.
Yeah, but no, Half-Life Alyx. I'm not going to say much about it because it's already been talked about to death. If you want to see the future of gaming, play it. That's basically all I have to say about it. It is both at the same time, like, it's Valve, of course it is. This is what they do with the Half-Life series. It's all about pushing innovation. It is both a tech demo, an excellent game, and also just visually impressive. Like, I had a friend the other day who never played game. They're a law student. They don't play video games at all. Oh, you right there, Professor?
Yeah, my audio ping was going high, so But
It's all good.
your friend has never played a game?
Never played it. They're not into gaming at all. Put the VR headset on, and they instantly knew how to play it because you play it like your real life. You pick up a gun, you pick up the gun. You pick up some object in the game world, you pick it up as you would in real life, right?
You put your hat on the frog, you are the frog.
Yeah, exactly.
So meme, okay.
But yeah, I mean, it's just people when VR first came out saying it was a fad, like motion controls. Nah, I don't see how this is not going to take off. The only issue holding back VR right now is it's just too expensive. Because like you got the 600 AD headset, you've got your $3,000 gaming rig, or don't need that, maybe $1,000 gaming rig, right? That's a lot of money to spend on a hobby for a lot of people. Once I thought, people do buy their fancy $1,000 flagship phones, so I don't know, priorities, I guess.
Just get a second job.
Yeah, just get a second job. It's all good,
Not in
guys.
this economy.
This economy, yeah.
I reckon once the VR headset's going to hit $300, then it's going to start hip off because that's going to be the same price as like a console. So $300. I reckon
Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, what's your biggest gripe with this game, though, besides the price and whatnot?
Gripe. I think my biggest gripe so far has been I haven't found too many. I haven't played it enough to really find a gripe. I do feel like the weapon selection is a bit low, but that's not the point of the game. The point is it's a psychological. It's not psychological. It's just a cosmic horror, I guess, best way to put it. It's Half-Life. It's a mishmash of genres. So I can't really announce on gripes too much yet because I just haven't had enough time in it.
And what about you, DJ?
I've been playing Valorant. And yes, I know you're gonna say, yeah, another shooter game. Woohoo!
No, I was going to ask if you were any good.
Oh yeah. I've been I've been having like 13 deaths, 15 kills.
I mean, that's
I
true.
don't know
more
enough
than
to say whether that. Yeah, I mean your KD ratio is at least positive, but it doesn't sound positive enough.
It depends on who you're playing with, though. That's the downside when you're playing against when you're playing with other people. It's like are there any support? No support? Dang it!
Like how helpful is it with Valorant? And so I know, correct me if I'm wrong, but you're not allowed to exit a match once you've started it.
Oh, you can exit a match, but then you can't reconnect into the match.
I see.
Yeah. It's a very long process to reconnect into the match, though. But with Valorant, they've done some new changes in terms of changing with the UI. Although unfortunately, they still have the same old microtransactions. Surprise, surprise.
Big surprises there.
It's basically, as I said, the first time I played it, it's basically CS:GO with Overwatch. So, and you have to buy the abilities as well, which is a pain. The ultimates, it basically comes in after you successfully do a number of kills. And it depends on your character. Like some characters have a decoy ability, some characters have a resurrection ability, some characters have an attack, an all-out ability kind of thing. So, yeah.
And
yeah, so
I've been... sorry?
We're talking over here today. It's like... It sounds very Team Fortressy.
Yeah.
It's basically Counter-Strike with heroes. So, yes.
I see, yeah.
Yeah. And it's fun. It's fun. The other stupid part about it is some guns are broken as hell, like your shotguns. They're broken as hell. And some are even weak. Some are really weak. Like even if you carry like an SMG, you try and shoot that person, like it'll take like one full round just to kill him, and they use a pistol. And one shot, they'll kill you. You're like, what?
Are you sure you're hitting them?
Yeah, I'm sure I'm hitting them. It's just what the hell?
Really?
Game balancing is a bit off.
The balancing can be really off at times. And you also get the odd challenges or two. Like you have to, if you get like a couple of challenges, you get an XP boost and stuff like that as well. So. You get your daily challenges as well.
No, but like, how much does it cost?
It's free.
Oh, it's free. Okay, well, in that regards, I say keep them. I'm fine with microtransactions. I was thinking because it's a free game, then of course you're going to have them. Tell you to make money.
How many people to a team?
I think it's 5. Hang on a sec. It's 5 or 6. I've checked. Give me a sec. Valorant. 5. There we go. 5 people in a team.
Okay. And I've been playing Outer Wilds, which I don't want to spoil at all because it's a very narrative-driven game, but it's bloody amazing.
So is this the one developed by the people who made Fallout New Vegas?
No, that's Outer Worlds.
Oh, okay.
So I don't recommend looking at the photos on the Steam page because I've just checked there and seen that there's a few spoilers in there.
Ooh.
Like only minor stuff, but stuff that stuff that you want to see for yourself.
Mm-mm.
Well, can you at least give us a bit of a plot to the story? No, not the whole entire plot, but like what the story is about.
You're an astronaut from your planet, I guess. Your planet. Sorry, of course you're an astronaut from your planet. Why am I saying? Man, the dementia's back. Okay, so you're an astronaut with a spaceship, a radio scanner, a translator device, and you're just told just go out and explore. Go and see what you can find out about the sort of precursor race. So some past civilization created tons of stuff and built all these ruins that you can find and explore. And my favorite part, one of the first things you can do is cook marshmallows on a fire.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Apparently the main food source of I don't remember if they give your species a name, but you're not human. But apparently the main food source is marshmallows.
I mean, I'm down for some marshmallows any time of the day, so I agree to the species straight away.
Yes, and the plot feels very... So do you know the book Rendezvous with Rama?
Can't say I do.
Nah.
Okay, so it's a bit of classic sci-fi about... So it's about exploring an alien spaceship. An alien spaceship flies through the solar system and some scientists drop in to check it out before it flies off. And they don't meet any sentient life, but they go around exploring and doing tests and trying to figure out who built it and where it came from. So you're going from planet to planet, translating old writing and everything, figuring out puzzles, exploring. It's one of the few that gives you one of the few games that gives you this real sense of exploration.
I'm looking at the trailer, and why does it remind me of No Man's Sky?
I guess you could say that, but it's better than No Man's Sky.
Yeah,
it's got actual gameplay.
Well, this depends which version. Not to jump into defend No Man's Sky. Depends. I think they've done a good job getting back to where they are now, but like,
yeah,
are you talking about the original No Man's Sky release, or are you talking about the current release of No Man's Sky?
Of course, yeah. You can't take the piss out of the new version of No Man's Sky because it's actually become a kind of functional game. But you can absolutely take the piss out of the launch version.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. The launch version was hilarious.
Yeah, it's embarrassingly bad.
Yeah. I'm looking at this game, and what other functions can you do besides exploring? Like, can you defend yourself and stuff? Like, if you were...
No combat.
No combat?
No combat.
Yeah. So you're equipped with, I said, the radio scanner. You can use that to pick up signals from things you might want to check out. And my favorite feature of that is that there's one mode which looks for other astronauts from your planet. Mm-hmm. And... the other astronauts like to sit around their campfires playing music. Wait a minute. How do they have a campfire and they're still wearing their spacesuit? I've just seen that in a photo on the Steam page. But anyway.
Secrets.
Magic. It's magic, everybody. Magic.
No. The magic is something called the debug menu.
Yeah, so where was I?
You were talking about campfire and the mystery.
So the other characters, like living characters that you meet, when you look for them using the scanner, you can hear them playing their instrument over the signal, which is just really cute. It's got really nice music too. You have a device called a scout launcher, which shoots out these little camera pods, which are used to detect a substance that's bad for you called ghost matter, and also to explore the planet. So you can fire one off and put it into orbit around a planet, or you can throw it into a cave and it will light it up. You also have you got a jetpack, so you can move around in 0G or boost yourself up a cliff. A spaceship built out of wood. Yeah, the style is pretty cool though. Like everything your species builds is out of wood, but it's still pretty cool.
Concept is really nice. I will say. I will say that it's a very good concept.
So like Alien 3.
I can't say I've seen that.
Oh, okay.
Actually.
So it's basically Alien 3. Sum it up is alien space monk inside a wooden spaceship.
Okay.
Yep, this is still part of the Alien franchise.
I wasn't aware of that. I thought that was set in a prison.
It's a okay. Sorry, yes, it's a prison, but there's some wooden thing.
Okay.
Unless I'm getting confused, it's Alien 4. I can't remember exactly, but somewhere in the Alien franchise, is some wooden prison thing.
Yeah. So I will say either way, it's a bit of a Groundhog Day loop, and part of the exploration is learning when to go where. So there's some places that are only accessible at sort of certain times of day. One place, I've never actually gone back there late enough into a cycle to check it out, but it becomes inaccessible after a certain time. I really recommend checking this out if you've got any interest in exploration or like alternative sort of storytelling in games.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, Devi boy, it was a wooden planet.
Okay. I just searched it right now because the wooden spaceship was an early concept design. That's what I was getting confused with. But yes, wooden planet.
Okay.
The monks on the wooden satellite.
Yeah. Okay. Makes sense now because my memory is faint, but I remember something wooden in the Alien franchise, which I found hilarious. But no, it sounds like a really cool game. So I might have to give it a shot. How much is it currently?
Currently on sale for 24 Aussie dollars.
That is pretty darn good.
And if you want the soundtrack, it's $6.
That sounds about right.
But the music is amazing. So yeah, well worth checking out. Now on to sorry, DJ.
Sorry, I was going to say so how many nerdy beanies would you give your games out of?
I'd give Outer Wilds at least 5 out of 5.
5 out of 5. Wow, that's a big score.
I honestly don't want to rate mine yet because I haven't played it. I mean, it's Alex. You already know what it probably would be, but I'm considering I haven't finished it yet.
Is there anyone who actually doesn't mind it being in VR who doesn't like it? Because I've heard people complain that it's in VR and they can't find the VR legs or whatever. But apart from that, I don't think I've heard anyone complain.
Yeah. No, yeah, the only complaints have been because it's a fully VR game and most of the other Half-Life games weren't. Well, all of them weren't. So, but anyone else who's played it who actually has it, I haven't heard anything bad from. So, you know what my score would be, but I don't want to give it a rating yet, just to be an ethical journalist.
All right, so TBA on your end then?
Yes.
All right. I'm going to give mine a 3 out of 5.
So, for shout-outs, on the 26th of June 2020, Milton Glasser passed away at 91. Milton was the graphic designer who created the poster of Bob Dylan with the I Heart NY logo. He brought wit, whimsy, narrative, and skilled drawing to commercial art at a time when advertising was dominated by severe strictures of modernism on one hand and cozy realism of magazines on the other. He also designed the logo for DC Comics, Stony Brook University, and Brooklyn Brewery. He died from stroke and renal failure in Manhattan. And on the 27th of June, Charles Webb, author of The Graduate, passed away. Charles Webb's debut novel, The Graduate, was a satire of his college education and was adapted into a film of the same name. Webb was 24 when the book came out in 1963. He died from a blood condition in Eastbourne, East Sussex.
And that's the movie that's famous for the line, "Are you trying to seduce me, Mrs. Robinson?"
According to the show notes you've given me, it's Mrs. Robinson, you're trying to seduce me, aren't you?
Yep, that's the one.
It also says that it was labelled a fictional failure by a critic and it only sold 20,000 copies.
Yeah, and that was the movie, I think, that launched Dustin Hoffman's career.
Okay, and on the 29th of June, Carl Reiner passed away. Carl was a writer, producer, director, and actor. Created The Dick Van Dyke Show and directed several hit films. So he won 9 Emmy Awards, 5 for the Dick Van Dyke Show, had roles in Ocean's 11 trilogy, and on 2.5 Men and Hot in Cleveland.
Yeah, he's the man in the Oceans trilogy as the old guy. I think that had in the first one was the billionaire, or posing as a billionaire, and wanted to get his stuff being stored away in the safe.
Yep, I see he also did a skit called "The 2,000-Year-Old Man," which I'm going to look up after because that sounds interesting. Right, so on the 30th of June, the Queensland University of Southern Queensland, and NASA discovered a new planet the size of Neptune. This planet is only 32 light years away, so fairly close in the scheme of things. It's orbiting the star AU Microscopy in the constellation Microscopium, and the planet would unfortunately not be suitable to live on because the surface temperature is over 1,000 degrees Celsius. On the 29th of June, remembrances. On the 29th of June, 1855, John Gorrie passed away. John Gorrie was an American physician, scientist, inventor of mechanical cooling, and humanitarian. So, he came up with some cool ideas, including air conditioning hospitals, for the wrong reasons. Because the malaria theory, the bad air theory, you've called it malaria there, but which nowadays is known as the mosquito-borne disease. But the other term for that, I believe, is miasma, which is a much older term.
Yeah.
So because back in the day they thought they didn't have germ theory, and they thought that bad air caused diseases, he decided, you know what, we should cool the hospitals using ice suspended on the ceiling.
Now that's one way of air conditioning.
Yeah, so he developed a mechanical cooling device to make homemade ice, so he wouldn't have to ship it in by boat. These are actually quite cool.
Although it reminds me of The Simpsons when the men had to bring in the ice, and it's like, you gotta find a way to get these ice. We're losing men every day.
I can just think of the Futurama episode where they solve global warming by dropping a giant iceberg into the ocean.
Hooray, it's solved!
Once and for all! Yes, on the 29th of June 1997, William Hickey passed away. William was an American actor best known for Don Corrado Prizzi in Prizzi's Honor, and Uncle Lewis in National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, and Dr. Finkelstein in The Nightmare Before Christmas. He taught Herbert Berghoff, George Siegel, Sandy Dennis, Barbara Streisand, and Sandra McLean. So he passed away from emphysema and bronchitis at the age of 69 in New York City. And on the 29th of June 2003, Katharine Hepburn passed away. Katharine Houghton Hepburn, the American actress, appeared in movies for over 60 years. She received 4 Academy Awards for lead acting performances and 8 further nominations. In 1999, she was named by the American Film Institute the greatest female star of classic Hollywood cinema. So, Audrey Hepburn passed away of cardiac arrest at 96. Sorry, did I say Audrey Hepburn or Katharine Hepburn?
Catherine.
Okay, good.
No, actually, no, you said Audrey. Actually, no, you said Audrey.
Sorry. There we go. I meant Catherine, obviously. The dementia's kicking in. Okay, so
do we need to start reading out just some like memory helping books, or?
Oh, that's the thing. I've got all the notes here, so I'm just reading from the notes. So you know,
so there's a distance connection in your neurons between the eyes and the brain reading and the voice box.
That's the problem.
Ah, I see now.
My eyeballs aren't eyeballing. On to the famous birthdays. On the 29th of June 1793, Joseph Ludwig Franz Russell, an Austrian forester and inventor, designed one of the first working ship's propellers. So he was awarded a patent for the propeller in 1827 and modified a steam-powered boat in 1829 and test drove it at 6 knots before the steam conduits exploded. The police banned further testing, although it wasn't due to the propeller. He was commemorated on Austria's 500 shilling banknote in the 60s, which shows him on the front and the test ship Civetta on the back. He also invented pneumatic post and ball and cylinder bearings. He was born in Trudham, Bohemia, Habsburg monarchy, and he has a hell of a nose.
Yeah. I mean, why was there? Curiously, what was the reason for the ban? If it wasn't because of the actual propeller and stuff.
I assume just because he was going around causing explosions and people thought, well, this ain't right.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of fair, you know. You don't really want steam engines exploding all over the place.
Yeah, it's, just one of those things I've always been told, try not to blow things up.
I mean, unless you're an inventor, which then, if you don't, something doesn't blow up, you're not doing it right.
That is true. So, on the 28th of June, 1818, Angelo Secchi was born. Father Angelo Secchi was an Italian astronomer. He was a pioneer in astronomical spectroscopy and was one of the first scientists to state authoritatively that the sun is a star. He discovered 3 comets, produced an exact map of the lunar crater Copernicus, drew the first color illustrations of Mars, and described channels on the planetary surface. He observed and made drawings of solar eruptions and sunspots. He organized expeditions to observe solar eclipses and proved that the solar corona and coronal prominences seen during an eclipse are part of the sun. He invented the heliospectrograph and telespectroscope. So these are devices that work by splitting the color of the light coming in into, running it through a prism, basically, and then taking a look at the absorption lines that they see, which are, interestingly enough, caused by interacting with particles on each planet or each star, planet, whatever, and you can look at that data and find out what it's made of. So on the 29th of June, 1861, William James Mayo was born. Did you guys hear that?
Nope. Must be the
Okay, I'm
dementia.
going to make a note to edit that out. Edit screaming in
Yeah, I heard that. Sorry.
James Mayo. Someone outside just went, "Wow!"
I think I vaguely heard him. I was like, what the heck?
I hope it's not a murder.
Okay, where were we?
James Mayo.
Yeah.
Oh, and before we start on James Mayo, with Seki, he was also the guy that's famous for making the Seki dish as well, and he studied the Aurora Borealis, the effects of lightning, and the cause of hail as well.
Okay.
Aurora Borealis in this kitchen at this time.
Not again.
Localized, all in your kitchen. Yes.
May I see it?
No. Simpsons.
Okay, so Angelo Secchi also created the Secchi dish and studied the effect of lightning on the cause of hail and the Aurora Borealis, which in this case was not located entirely within his kitchen.
Can I still see it?
No.
So you mean I can't fly to the Northern Hemisphere?
I mean, no, you can't because it's closed.
Oh, shoot. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, planet's closed.
Southern Hemisphere.
You'd have to go past Victoria, and I wouldn't want to go there right now.
Yeah. I mean, I could just make my own boat and then just sail. Anyways.
Anyway, on the 29th of June, 1861, William James Mayo was born. William James Mayo was a physician and surgeon in the US and one of the 7 founders of the Mayo Clinic. So the Mayo brothers, William James and Charles Horace Mayo, joined their father's medical practice in Minnesota in the 1880s before forming the not-for-profit Mayo Clinic in 1919. In 1883, they had a large part in treating the victims of a tornado which struck their town. So in September 1931, Mayo and other prominent individuals were invited to make a prediction in the New York Times about the world in 80 years. So that would be 2011. And his prediction was that the life expectancy of developed countries would reach 70 years, compared to less than 60 years in 1931. Well, we're doing quite a bit better than that. The average life expectancy in most developed countries is over 80 now.
I wonder if that number is going to lower down significantly because of the corona, though.
Yeah, that would be interesting to study. See how many people would need to die of coronavirus and at what ages to cause a certain effect on the overall average age of death.
Yeah. So before you go on, so I'm looking at the average life expectancy in industrial and developing countries. For those born in 2018 by gender, So for more developed countries, 76 for men and 82 for women.
Okay, so even in countries that aren't fully developed, we're still above his estimate for developed countries.
Yeah.
Which is
yeah. Oh, sorry. I was going to say less developed countries. It's 69 for men, 73 for women.
Okay, yeah, we'll split the difference and say, things are, life is much easier now than it was.
Yeah.
As long as people don't cough the Rona onto you.
Isn't that pretty amazing to think is the span of what year was that first published, the paper?
1931.
Wow, so even less than 100 years have gone from that to this. Like, human history is like thousands of, 5,000 years. So we've gone from that to span of 60, 70, I think? No, it'd be around 80, 90. I'm bad at maths, but just that point. Yeah. The point of being how quickly things are developed.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And now we've even gotten to the point where people refuse modern medicine because they think it's out to get them. Real clever people. So, onto events of interest. On the 29th of June, 1613.
Professor, you missed one.
Did I?
Yep.
Damn it. On the 29th of June, 1868, George Ellery Hale was born. George Ellery Hale was an American solar astronomer who discovered the magnetic fields in sunspots and was part of building the 40-inch telescope at Yerkes Observatory, the 60-inch at Hale reflecting telescope at Mount Wilson Observatory, and the 100-inch Hooker reflecting telescope at Mount Wilson, and the 200-inch Hale reflecting telescope at Palomar Observatory.
He has a lot of telescopes.
He does, and they just keep getting bigger. So in 1908, he used the Zeeman effect and a modified spectroheliograph, which we mentioned just a minute ago. Angelo Secchi. Although I noticed you've given me two different names there, DJ. One's a spectroheliograph, the other's a heliospectrograph.
No, that's what they came
this
out
one's
with.
not on me. So he established that sunspots were magnetic, with a strong tendency for east-west alignment of the magnetic polarity and mirror symmetry across the equator, and that polarities in each hemisphere switched from orientation from one cycle to the next. This property is known as the Hale-Nicholson law.
You mean Nicholson law?
Yes, that's what I said.
Oh, you said Nixon.
I tried to say Nicholson, but the dementia's getting to my tongue. So, on to events of interest.
Old. He's just old. Leave him alone. He's a poor old man.
On the 29th of June, 1613, the Globe Theatre was built. Burnt to the ground.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Wow.
What a twist that was.
So, the Globe Theatre was built using wood from the very first permanent theatre in London in 1576. In 1613, it caught fire during a performance of Henry VIII due to a theatrical cannon catching fire. No one was hurt except for a man whose burning breeches were put out with a bottle of ale.
Here's to alcohol, the cause and solution to all problems.
Well, at least it was ale and not, say,
spirits.
Vodka.
Like
yeah, like high-proof vodka. Don't worry, we'll save you. And
pause. Oh, no!
Oh, no!
Hey there, Jimmy. I see you got a little bit of fire in your hair. Sorry, here's some high spirit alcohol that's going to pour on there. Oh, God.
Well, nobody loved Jimmy anyway, so...
Oh, I'm so sorry, Jimmy.
So, on the last one for tonight, on the 29th of June, 1975. Let's see if I can get through this one without stuffing up. Steve Wozniak tested his first prototype of the Apple I. The Apple I was the first computer from Apple made by Steve Wozniak with little or no input from Steve Jobs. It came without a keyboard, monitor, or even a cabinet. So Wozniak, who was 26 and an employee of Hewlett-Packard at the time, was part of the Homebrew Computer Club in Palo Alto, California. The Apple I was a circuit board with 32 chips attached, and he observed that this test was the very first time anyone had typed on a computer and seen the results on the computer screen right in front of them. Because before then, you'd have to deal with tape inputs and outputs, teletype, and there's a really interesting history of input devices, which I won't get into here. And he described it as like getting a putt from 40 feet away. And the Apple I sold for $666.66, Woz says that he didn't intend that to be a satanic reference.
And if you want to see an Apple one, as they are very rare, we actually have one here in Australia at the Powerhouse Museum.
Oh, nice.
Really? I've been there all the time and I've never seen that.
We've got one in a lock case in its original casing as well that was sold in. Here, I'll set a post into the little chat for you to have a look at. It's there in the glass case. Here you go, in general.
It's like I'm going to the Powerhouse as soon as that opens.
That's when we got in Australia.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah. So if you're Australian and you would like to see some computer history, head down to your local Powerhouse if you're in Sydney. Otherwise, it'll be a holiday. Get a holiday to go see Apple One.
Oh, is that the Sydney Powerhouse?
Sydney Powerhouse. Sorry, wrong Powerhouse.
Now I'm disappointed. Although I've been there, I think, and I don't think I've seen it. Oh well, gonna have to fix that. That's adorable in a little briefcase.
Right?
That keyboard looks familiar, but I'm not sure I can place it. Yes. Anyway, that's our last one for tonight. DJ, where can they find us?
They can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. That's notcanon.com. All of our stuff will be on our show notes. They can also find us on, I was going to say Instagram, but I already said that.
Pod Hero.
Oh yeah, Pod Hero. Yes, you can also find us on Pod Hero, where your support will be greatly appreciated.
Yes, you can support us there for $5 a month, and it splits across all the podcasts you listen to. So you can check us out, and you can also check out the latest podcast from That's Not Canon, While You Were Steeping, which only just came out while we were recording, so that was lucky.
Oh, there you go.
This is a podcast about tea.
Tea?
Yes, the stuff you drink.
Okay, the drink.
I love the name, though. That's a great pun. But that's all we have. So do you guys have anything to add?
No, I think we're all pretty good.
Fine.
Okay, so we will see you next week.
Take care of yourselves. Stay hydrated, and see you soon.
Yep, have fun, guys.
And stay away from Victoria.
I would highly recommend that. I think it's are they open the border New South Wales yet?